In ancient Rome, some places were left untouched. They were ruins whispered to be cursed and avoided even by thieves and beggars. But tonight, Julia and Aelius steps inside one of the forbidden temples. In its shadows wait secrets, betrayal, and a dangerous kind of love. Before we begin, if you enjoy these ancient Rome bedtime stories, please like this video and subscribe. It truly helps me create more stories like this. Now, make yourself comfortable and let's begin. On the edge of Rome, beyond the bustling markets and noisy taverns, stood the remains of an old temple. Its walls were cracked and scarred, its statues broken and worn smooth by centuries of rain. Ivy climbed the stone like veins, twisting and choking what once had been holy. The people of Rome called it cursed. They whispered that it had been abandoned by the gods, a place where only shadows prayed. No one entered after dark. No priest blessed it. Even thieves avoided it. But for Julia and Aelius, it was different. Julia was a scribe, her hands always ink-stained, her eyes hungry for knowledge. Aelius was a young artisan, strong from labor, quick in spirit, and loyal to her in ways that went unspoken. They had grown up together, but as adults, the world kept them apart. A scribe's daughter and a craftsman's son were not meant to share more than passing words. So, they met in secret. And the temple, cursed or not, became their sanctuary. One warm evening, when the moon rose high above the city walls, Julia slipped from her insula. Her cloak was plain, her hood pulled low. She carried a small oil lamp, its flame trembling in the breeze. Aelius was already waiting near the gates of the temple, a smile flickering across his face when he saw her. The two stepped inside, the air immediately colder than the night outside. Their footsteps echoed on cracked stone. The temple smelled of dust, ash, and something faintly metallic like old blood. Julia shivered. But Aelius touched her hand, steadying her. "It's only stories," he whispered. "We're safe here." For a moment, the temple was theirs. Their laughter softened the silence. They spoke of dreams, freedom, and of places beyond Rome, of a life where their affection was no secret. Julia's heart felt lighter when he was near. But then, they saw the markings. At first it looked like scratches on the walls. But when Julia leaned closer, her lamp revealed fresh carving symbols, strange and deliberate. Circles, serpents, and Latin words written in hurried strokes. She frowned. These weren't old. And then she noticed broken wax tablets scattered near the altar. Aelius picked one up, brushing off the dust. The writing was rushed but clear. It spoke of meetings, oaths, and offerings. Not to Jupiter or Mars, but to darker gods, the kind Rome preferred to forget. Julia's stomach tightened. "This temple isn't abandoned," she whispered. Before Aelius could answer, footsteps echoed from the entrance. Temples in ancient Rome were sacred, but they were also political. Priests held great power, and temples could be places of conspiracy as much as worship. Forbidden cults sometimes gathered in secret, performing rituals far from the public eye. To be caught spying on such a gathering was dangerous. Punishments ranged from exile to death. Julia blew out the lamp. Darkness swallowed them whole. She and Aelius pressed close against a broken column, their breaths shallow. Through the temple doors, 3 figures entered, cloaked, hooded, each carrying torches. Their flames lit the hall in flickering orange. The men spoke in low tones. Julia could only catch fragments: bribes, sacrifices, the names of senators. This was no simple cult, it was a gathering of conspirators. Her heart thundered. She felt Aelius's hand brush against hers, steady, reassuring. In the silence, that touch spoke louder than words. But then one of the men turned, his torchlight flashing across their hiding place. His eyes narrowed. A shout rang out. "Run!" Aelius hissed. They bolted, their footsteps echoing like thunder. Torches flared behind them, voices shouting in anger. Julia's cloak tangled at her feet as she sprinted, Aelius pulling her forward. Through crumbling archways, over fallen stone, they fled into the labyrinth of the temple. One of the conspirators caught her cloak, yanking her back. Julia cried out, but Aelius struck the man aside with a broken stone, dragging her free. Their eyes met in the chaos, terror and fierce devotion burning together. They burst through the temple's gates, into the cool night air. The shouts of the pursuers faded, but the pounding of their hearts did not. At the edge of the forest, they collapsed, gasping for breath. Julia clutched the wax tablet she had grabbed in the chaos. Its words were dangerous proof of what they had witnessed. Aelius looked at her, sweat and fear shining in his eyes, but also something else, something that made Julia's chest ache. "You saved me," she whispered. "You saved me first," he answered, brushing dirt from her cheek. For a moment, the night was still, and their closeness was undeniable. They swore never to speak of what had happened, not even to family and friends. The temple would remain silent, its secrets locked away in the ruins. But between Julia and Aelius, something had changed forever. They had shared danger, fear, and trust, and in the shadows of the forbidden temple, their forbidden love had only grown stronger. In ancient Rome, even ruins could hold power. And sometimes, love was the greatest secret of all. This was the story of the Forbidden Temple, where danger, mystery, and hidden love collided in the shadows of ancient Rome.